Let's get straight to the point. There is something in you that you don't fully understand, and that others can't explain either. But they feel it. They perceive it even before you open your mouth. Sometimes just by entering a room, the atmosphere changes. Have you noticed it? Conversations that stop, glances that divert, tense smiles that never quite feel genuine. It's not paranoia. It's not imagination. It's something much deeper. It's your energy, your presence, your aura. No, we're not talking about cheap mysticism or carnival superstitions. We're talking about deep psychology. Carl Jung said it with brutal clarity. Each of us projects far more than we think. You are like a mirror that not everyone can bear to look at. Because when your aura is intense, when you carry within you a shadow you have yet to explore, others feel it, and they don't always tolerate it. Unintentionally, you activate other people's demons. You remind them of what they haven't healed, what they have repressed, what they pretend not to be. Your mere presence can be a threat to those who live, avoiding their own truth. And that scares them. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to distance themselves without any apparent reason? Why you feel like you generate rejection, even when your intentions are pure? Why there are those who silently admire you, but never approach? The answer might be hidden in plain sight. Your aura, your energetic field, your psychological essence does not fit into the superficial. You are not easy to digest. And that, in a world that rewards the predictable, makes you an anomaly. A mystery, and mystery breeds fear. Your way of looking, your silence, your ability to see beyond what others dare to. All of that shapes an aura that not everyone is prepared to bear. Because you don't pretend, you don't play the game of appearances, and that makes people uncomfortable. Jung explained this with his theory of the shadow. What you don't recognize in yourself, you project onto others. But you haven't just started to recognize your shadow. You carry it with you, and that, whether you say it or not, shows. Today, you are going to discover something that could change the way you see the world, and more importantly, the way the world sees you. This is not a video for just anyone. It's not content for those seeking light entertainment. It's a door. And if you cross it, there's no going back. We are going to talk about the 7 signs that your aura scares people, without you realizing it, but we won't do it from the obvious. We will do it from the deep, from the guts of your unconscious, from what Jung called the shadow, that hidden part we all have, and that you unknowingly make visible in others. Do you realize the power that implies you are not just different? You are a mirror, and being a mirror is not easy because you reflect what others don't want to see. And that inevitably awakens fear, envy, rejection, fascination, an explosive cocktail that few know how to handle. And while you keep walking, trying to fit in, others feel that you are a step ahead or outside, as if you don't quite belong, as if you were a separate kind of being. Have you felt like that, disconnected? But not by choice, misunderstood even when your intentions were clear. Excluded from places where you are supposed to fit in. The answer is not always in what you do, but in what you are and in what you project. Because energy can't be seen, but it can be felt. And yours if it's charged with authenticity. Introspection worked through pain. Raw truths can be overwhelming for those who live on the surface. That is the paradox. The more you know yourself, the more you scare those who don't know themselves. The more you show your shadow, the more you provoke rejection from those who still hide theirs. And this is not poetry or empty philosophy. It's pure psychology. Jung made it clear. until the unconscious becomes conscious. The subconscious will direct your life, and you'll call it destiny. Well then, you unknowingly have already made conscious something that others keep repressing, and that generates tension, insecurity, because they don't know what to do with you. You are a reminder, a living reminder of everything that others have not dared to face. It's not that you are dark. It's that you are not afraid of your darkness, and that confuses, because the world is full of masks and you walk without one. Or you wear it so loosely that anyone can see what's behind. And what's there? A mind that observes, a soul that feels more than it says. A past that didn't break you, but shaped you. And all that makes up an energy that, even if you say nothing, speaks for you. An energy that doesn't need introductions because it imposes itself. That doesn't need to raise its voice because it disturbs in silence. And when your aura is intense, there's no need to do much to disturb the balance of a room. Sometimes it's enough just to be, to remain, to look, to not say what everyone expects you to say. In this video, you are going to discover the 7 most unsettling, subtle, and revealing signs that your aura is destabilizing those around you. Without you knowing it, it's not arrogance. It's reality. It's not vanity. It's perception. We are going to dismantle together each piece of the puzzle, because what you are about to hear may give you the answers you've been searching for years. Why do they exclude you? Why do they avoid you? Why do they watch you from afar, but don't dare to approach? Why do they fear you? The answer lies in your aura and in what it represents. It's not a punishment. It's a misunderstood gift. Because those who don't understand your energy reject it, but those who do never remain the same. You are about to look at your reflection from a new perspective, and if you dare to continue, you will see that the problem was never you. The problem was the echo you caused in other people's voids. So take a deep breath. Open your eyes wide and get ready. Because what's coming is not an explanation, it's a revelation, and here is where things get even more unsettling. Because understanding that your aura can scare people is not enough. There is a deeper, subtler, more invisible dimension, the hidden language of unspoken emotions. Have you noticed that many times when you interact with others, there is something off? They say they're fine, but their gestures tremble. They smile at you, but their eyes don't look at you calmly. They speak to you, but there is tension in their bodies, as if your mere presence forces them to be on guard. It's not a coincidence, it's a psychological phenomenon. Your energy forces them to show a version of themselves that they're not comfortable with. Because when you approach unintentionally, you create a space where the truth floats. And the truth is not easy to hold for someone who has lived a whole life running from it. This is not magic, it's neuropsychology. Micro-expressions, loaded silences, changes in voice tone. These are direct reactions of the nervous system to a powerful emotional stimulus. And you are that stimulus because you don't go unnoticed. Because you don't blend into the crowd. Because there is a density in your way of being that cannot be ignored. And it's not that you do something weird. It's that you are deeply you. And that in this world is a rarity. An anomaly most people live adapting, blending, fitting in. You remain firm even when you don't fully understand why. And that firmness, that refusal to negotiate your authenticity, produces a kind of silent electricity that crosses others. Some admire it, others simply can't stand it. And here comes an even more disturbing concept, the architect of the enlightened outcast. Jung spoke of this without naming it directly. He referred to that figure who, because of their connection to the inner self, ends up disconnected from the external. The one who sees more, feels more, anticipates things others don't even suspect. But that clarity doesn't come for free, because the more you see, the less you can pretend. The more you understand, the harder it is to tolerate superficiality. And that is the root of the conflict. You don't fit in because you've stopped buying the collective script, and that makes you a threat to those who live by it. Literally, you're not judging them, but they feel judged. You're not exposing them, but they feel naked because your mirror energy activates their masks. And masks, when they tremble, reveal what's behind. But there is something even more baffling. Your aura not only makes people uncomfortable, it also attracts in a silent, almost painful way. There are people who, although they feel uncomfortable around you, can't stop watching you. They can't help but seek your attention. And they do so from contradiction. They seek you but fear you. They admire you but criticize you. They approach but don't surrender. It's a constant dance between fascination and rejection, between desire and fear, because you represent something they don't understand but feel deeply. And that kind of attraction is not superficial. It's magnetic, it's ancestral. It's the attraction that authenticity generates. In the face of falseness, the raw against the decorated, the true against the constructed, and you unknowingly are a magnet for all that has yet to be healed in others. And do you know what the most ironic thing about all this is? That for years you believed the problem was you. You thought you were too serious, too intense, too quiet, too something. You tried to fit in. You tried to soften yourself. Maybe you even tried to disappear, but it didn't work because it's not about what you do. It's about what you are, and what you are cannot be turned off. It can only be accepted. And when you start to accept it fully, you'll realize something brutally liberating. You don't need to change your energy. You need to understand its purpose. Because you're not here to fit in. You're here to remind, to awaken. To be a breaking point in a world anesthetized by the superficial. And that not everyone will understand. But those who do will never forget you. And here comes an even tougher truth. You know who you are not by what others tell you, but by what you provoke. And if your presence generates discomfort, if your silence fills more than 1,000 speeches, if your way of observing dismantles lies, then you are not broken, you are awake. And that awakening has consequences. Loneliness is one of them. Being misunderstood another, but also clarity, lucidity, the inner peace of not having to pretend, of not having to fit into molds that are too small for you. And that peace is priceless. Now there is one more trap, more dangerous than all the previous ones, a trap that waits right after you discover the power of your aura, starting to play with it to control others, to manipulate, to dominate, to make others dependent on your presence, on your validation. That is the dark side of awakening. The ego disguised as enlightenment, the shadow disguised as light. And if you fall into that, you lose everything. Because the true power of your energy is not in how it affects others, but in how it transforms you. If you don't use your intensity to grow, to expand, to be freer, then it becomes a prison, a very beautiful one, yes. Full of admiration, mystery, respect, but a prison nonetheless. And you didn't come to be admired. You came to be authentic, to live from your center, to be a force of transformation, not an idol, not a myth. So the big question is not why does my aura scare people, but what am I going to do with that impact? Because the world doesn't need more people who camouflage themselves. It needs real presences with integrated shadows, with uncomfortable truths, with visible scars. Because only those people can bear the weight of what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming who you really are without masks, without filters, without fear. And if you are watching this, it's because you've already begun that journey. The rest is up to you. But before we close this wound we've just opened together, there is one more thing, something you can't afford to ignore. Because if you've made it this far, it's because you're not like the others. And that's not arrogance, it's a curse and a privilege. Do you feel it, that discomfort that settles in your chest? When you know that your way of seeing the world no longer fits the rules of the game, that you can no longer look the same, speak the same, or even remain silent the same, because your silence, even your silence, already carries a weight that others can't bear. I repeat, it's not what you do, it's what you emanate. And here's the wildest part. That energy you carry with you, that has isolated you so many times, that has scared so many without you, meaning too, is not your enemy. It is your signal, it is your map. It is the compass that shows you that you are not here to please everyone. You are here to remind the world of what it has forgotten, and that comes at the price of discomfort. Loneliness, strange looks, but it is also rewarded with moments of pure truth, with connections that change everything, with encounters where no one pretends, because one day you will see it. You will find someone or several who aren't scared by your presence, who don't run from your intensity, who don't look at you strangely when you fall silent, but thank you for it, and then you will understand everything. You weren't too much, you were exactly what was needed, but in the wrong place, and that is your task now, to find the right places, the right people. And for that, you don't need to adapt. You need to stand firm in your truth, in your energy, in your aura. So if any of this has resonated with you, if any of these words have touched a part of you that no one else reaches, it's because you are not alone. We are more than it seems, more than those who dare to show their shadow without shame, more than those who no longer want to hide what they feel. This space is made for that, to talk about what makes us uncomfortable, about what scares us, about what is not said out loud. So I invite you to stay, to subscribe, to be part of this community where the superficial is not rewarded, but the authentic is. And if you really made it this far in the video, I want you to leave me a sentence in the comments, but not just any sentence. I want you to write, "My shadow is not my enemy. It is my guide." That way, I'll know you are one of those who don't give up on comfort, of those who dare to see beyond the reflection. And now, yes, the time has come to disappear, not like those who run away, but like those who understand that silence is also part of the message. I'm leaving for now, but what we've just unearthed here will keep resonating in you long after this video ends. And that, believe me, is much more powerful than any applause. Until the next time you dare to look inside, because when you do, I'll be there in the words I didn't say, in the truths you haven't accepted yet, and in that place in your mind that you only enter when you have no other choice but to be brutally honest with yourself. Until then, disappear with intention and let your aura speak for you.